The question today is, are there sports card bull markets? Are there sports card bull markets? And the more I look at the data, the more I read, the more I learn, I believe that there is. But I'm not certain. And I would love, those of you that have been around in this current market for 5 years or more, I would love your feedback and input on this concept. And this is a concept that I'm thinking about. We're in the process of developing, and if we come to some logical conclusions, this will be information that we'll include in our CMG Sports Card Investments course, down the road. And to really understand this question, I think we have to kind of look at the crypto market. And as some of you know, 3 or 4 years ago, I went on a major self-education mode into the crypto market, and still am in that market, and I love that market. But I came to realize that everything in crypto revolves around the Bitcoin halving. Every 4 years, Bitcoin halves. The amount of Bitcoin available for miners to mine decreases by 50%. After the halving, leading up to the halving, the price is going to bump up a little bit. Within 6 months after the halving, it's going to start to take off. The bull market will go into full bore, full swing for about 18 months total, and then the market will start to drop. Then the bear market will come in, and prices will plummet for about a 2-year period, and then the whole thing starts all over again as the next Bitcoin halving, which happens every 4 years, starts to come into play. It's a cycle. It's predictable. It's been this way every year from the first halving forward. So how do you win in the crypto game? It's real simple. During the bear market is when you're doing your research, you're looking at different projects, you're looking at what projects you want to invest in. You get in those projects before the bull market, knowing your out price, knowing when you're going to get out of the market. It's not about what you buy, it's what you sell for. You've got to be able to get out of the market. Don't get greedy. People get greedy, they watch it go straight up, straight down, they lose. So you get in. If I get in a coin at $20, and the all-time high for that particular coin was 200, if I can get in around $18, $19, $20, $22 when it's at the low point in the bear market, and I know my get out price is going to be 200, which was the previous all-time high, or whatever I determined to be, because just because it was 200 all-time high in the past does not mean it will get there again necessarily. So you have to have an understanding of what are the odds of that happening. But in general, if I can get in around 20 and get out around 200, that's a 10x return on my money in a 12-month, 18-month time from the halving when the bull market occurs. So if I've got right now, currently, I've got 31 coins that I've invested in for this bull market that we're in the process, we're involved in right now. It's going to be a few months, maybe 12, 18 months before I get out, but I have my get out prices on all 31 of those coins, and it's just a very predictable cycle based upon history, and it's the foundation from my perspective on investing in crypto. So you want to pick 20 to 30, 10, 5 coins and ride them through the bull market cycle, get out, and then do it all over again during the bear market. Do your analysis and figure out what you want to get into prior to the next bull market. That, and then the plug and play crypto I love because it's just passive income. I'll give you a quick example. don't know if you guys can see this right here. It's a camera. It's called a Hive Mapper right here. Hive Mapper camera. And everywhere I go, that's turned on. And I'm not going to get into it. You can find out more about it at cmgcrypto.com if you want. But that's just making me money. I'm on my way right now, driving down the interstate, actually headed to a card show, and it's making me money. It's mining a token. It's mining a crypto called Honey while I'm driving. And basically what this project is doing is it's going to replace Waze, mapping, Google Maps. It's sending everything to the cloud, and it's mapping the interstates, mapping different roads all over the country. Again, I'm not going to get into the details other than the fact that I love it because I bought that device for, I don't know, I think it was around $250 in 90 days. It paid for itself. That was my wife's. This is one now that we finally got that's in my automobile. And it's just a passive money maker. Some of you know I've got crypto boxes and all kinds of passive income streams coming in from different gadgets and devices. I actually wrote a book on that, Crypto Plug and Play. So again, that's the other part of crypto. Now let me get back to sports cards. I apologize. So a good example, and again, I really am trying to formulate this in my mind right now. I'm not convinced really one way or another, but from all the data that I'm seeing, I feel like there's many bull runs that happen in the sports card market. And as an example, you take Anthony Edwards on the Timberwolves. If you look at this data, his cards just drastically increased all year. It kind of based out, and then right when the playoffs started and he started just crushing it in the playoffs, his card shot up during the NBA playoffs. And then when the fact they were going to the playoffs, and then when Denver won the first couple of games, his card dipped a little bit. Then they came back and won. His card shot up again. They win again. It shoots up. They win again. It shoots up. They lose. It goes down. And this is what's happened with his cards. Drastic spikes during the playoff season. During the playoffs. So what I'm thinking, and again, I don't have the data. I haven't gone back and really looked at this. But what I'm thinking is, who's going to be the top 2 stars in the playoffs next year of the top 6, 7, 8 teams? Invest heavily, load up on those cards prior to the playoff, and be ready to liquidate it. Start, because you can double your money, just during the playoffs, just during a playoff series with some of these cards. It's crazy. So does that happen like that every year? If it does, then that's kind of like be prepared for the NBA playoff bull run. The other thing that I am asking myself is, what kind of effect does the NBA draft have on card prices? What about the NFL draft? And I haven't paid attention to it, but if it's doing what it appears to be doing, those are mini bull runs. So there's different times throughout the year where you can participate in these sports card, for lack of a better term, sports card bull runs is what I'm thinking. Again, I have not, solidified this in my mind yet. But then the other question I have is, what about the National League All-Star Game? What about that? Do the starting pitchers in the All-Star Game, do their cards get a bump? I believe this year, and I might be wrong, time will tell, but I know he deserves it. But Ozuna on the Braves, a lot of people have not really heard of him, don't really know a lot about him. The guy's had a phenomenal year. I've been buying his cards leading up to the All-Star game, because I believe he'll be in the All-Star game, and if he happens to hit a home run to walk off for the National League to win in the All-Star game, his cards are going to get a huge bump. But I just think the fact that he's going to be in the All-Star game, there's going to be people saying, who is this guy? And then they see his stats for the first part of the year, and they're going to think, I need to pick him up. I might be wrong. I have no idea. No idea. But if that does occur, that's a bull run. That's a mini bull run around the All-Star game. And there's different events. And the reason I think I've come to this thought process, and again, I told Dawn, my wife, I said, I need a full year of seeing the different cycles with the different sports. But what I'm thinking is, like, for the last several years, I've done this with very passively with the Super Bowl. Who are the Super Bowl superstars? That's how I first found out about Patrick Mahomes. I had not followed NFL football closely at all for years, but that's when I first saw Patrick Mahomes in his first Super Bowl, and I went online that night and I bought his Donruss rated rookie card, and you know that card's increased 5 times since I bought it. It's worth well over $1,000 right now. So I did that just real passively, and I gotta believe there's other people like I was out there in the market. People that see Ozuna and think, my gosh, that kid's awesome. You know, look at his stats. I need to pick up some of his rookie cards. The same will be for NBA people, possibly, the top drafts in the NBA. I really don't know. There's not a lot of people talking about it. You hear bits and pieces, but this is a concept that I'm going to pay close attention to. If we do solidify it and systemize it, then it will be part of our course when we put our course together, if we ever do. But I just wanted to share that this morning, mainly for a brain dump for myself, but to really get input from those of you that are a lot more experienced and have been in this market heavily over the last 5 years. So I hope that gave you a little bit of a brain tweak and something to think about. If it did, I'd appreciate it if you, whatever you're supposed to do to the like button, smash it, click it, whatever that is, and smash it, click it, whatever that is, and consider subscribing to this channel. I'm really, really excited about the sports card market. I love it, and you know, I think some of you probably know my brother and I had a shop years ago during the junk wax era. We did shows in Cincinnati, and you know, had a great time, and I want to kind of relive some of that. Is my focus, you know, really building a significant business, and more importantly, helping entrepreneur-minded people understand that there's profits to be made in this market, even if you don't like sports and you're not a collector. I'm a collector in my soul, but a lot more content like this coming in the future. So if you get a chance, if you'd like to, subscribe, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Have a great day. Thanks.